You're listening to an African Elements top news story for June 16, 2025. Please visit our website at africanelements.org for more daily news. Robert Reeves fights civil asset forfeiture in Michigan. Justice often feels far away from many in our communities, particularly when facing the power of the state. Robert Reeves, an ordinary man, knows this struggle too well. In July 2019, Michigan authorities seized his car and $2,280 in cash. The police detained him while questioning him about some stolen rental equipment. He spent several hours jailed, but they released him without any charges at all. His property, however, was not immediately returned. Instead, it was held for many frustrating months. Reeves's experience shines a light on a controversial legal practice known as civil asset forfeiture. This process allows law enforcement to take property suspected of being involved in criminal acts. This is an in rem action, meaning it targets the property itself, not the individual. Law enforcement can seize assets on the premise that they were derived from or used in illicit activities. This often happens based on a lower standard of evidence than criminal convictions require. In fact, civil asset forfeiture does not even require a conviction or charges. Authorities can simply sell the seized property, and the proceeds typically go directly to the seizing agency. Many critics find this process controversial. Serious concerns exist regarding its potential to violate constitutional rights and disproportionately affect marginalized communities. Civil asset forfeiture is also part of a broader strategy from the war on drugs, and it significantly impacts communities of color. Robert Reeves's case is not an isolated incident. It forms part of a larger nationwide challenge to civil asset forfeiture practices. Reeves teamed up with the Institute for Justice, IJ, to file a lawsuit against Wayne County officials. The Institute for Justice, a public interest law firm, champions property rights and actively challenges civil asset forfeiture practices as unconstitutional. Their joint lawsuit alleges that Wayne County engages in unconstitutional practices. The struggle for justice in Michigan has already seen significant victories. The Michigan Supreme Court ruled against Detroit's asset forfeiture practices, for instance. That court stipulated that cars can only be seized if they are used for drug trafficking. A further important decision came from the Sixth Circuit Court. This esteemed court ruled that individuals possess a due process right to a prompt post-seizure hearing. Due process guarantees fair legal procedures for all individuals. This includes the right to a fair hearing and the opportunity to dispute legal actions. The Sixth Circuit Court further ruled that Wayne County's vehicle forfeiture program itself violated due process. This means that individuals have a legal right to contest the seizure of their property quickly after it is taken. For people like Robert Reeves, these rulings offer a ray of hope. Reeves faced serious challenges simply for asserting his rights. The prosecutor attempted to jail him twice after he challenged the forfeiture. Such actions are a clear attempt at retaliation. Prosecutors usually have legal protection from being sued for actions taken in their official roles. However, courts can deny this immunity if their actions are outside of their duties or show bad faith. A federal appellate court indeed denied immunity to the prosecutor involved in Reeves's case. This critical decision allows Reeves to pursue legal action against them for these alleged retaliatory charges. These actions by the prosecutor highlight the significant obstacles individuals face when they dare to fight civil forfeiture. Robert Reeves's resilience in fighting back against such pressure is inspiring. Financially, civil asset forfeiture places a heavy burden, especially on low-income individuals. Wayne County's system itself imposed substantial fees for retrieving a seized vehicle. For example, the first seizure cost $900, the second one $800, and the third $2,700. These amounts do not even include additional costs for towing and storage. These escalating fees can make it economically impossible for people to contest seizures, even when they know the seizure was unjust. This barrier to justice is especially acute in Wayne County, an area with a large African American population, including the city of Detroit. Racial disparities in law enforcement practices often lead to higher rates of property seizure in communities of color. This happens even without corresponding criminal charges or convictions. Civil asset forfeiture disproportionately affects African American communities. This is due to systemic racial biases embedded within law enforcement practices and existing socioeconomic factors. The psychological and emotional toll this takes on communities should not be overlooked. It fosters mistrust towards law enforcement and deepens feelings of injustice. Ultimately, This exacerbates existing social and economic disparities. Robert Reeves's pursuit of justice holds important implications beyond his personal case. A favorable court ruling could establish a powerful legal precedent. This precedent would benefit other African American residents contending with civil asset forfeiture in Wayne County and other parts of Michigan. Such a ruling might challenge the very constitutionality of forfeiture practices. It would also highlight systemic racial disparities, potentially leading to significant reforms in how civil asset forfeiture is applied. The conversation must continue about alternatives to civil asset forfeiture. Governments could fund law enforcement through traditional means, such as taxes or community initiatives. This approach would decrease reliance on seized assets, reducing concerns about policing for profit. High-profile cases, like that of Robert Reeves, raise public awareness about these systemic issues. This, in turn, can spark public debate and ultimately lead to vital legal reforms. The fight for equitable justice continues, one case at a time. Copyright African Elements.